What you doing, other nerds? I'm the AC, and the time has finally came for the season 5 premiere of The Magicians with the episode Do Something Crazy. Now, man, I've been waiting for this episode for so long. It seems like such a long time since I watched The Magicians because it was, a few days since I finished my last rewatch before this episode premiered. But even still, too long to wait. And I needed this episode to let me know what all the characters are doing and how they're getting along with themselves after the death of Quentin. And the episode gives me just that. Now, it goes through kind of everybody. Most people are separated or in pairs. And I'm kind of just going to go through each character and tell the main thoughts that, interest me. I could talk about this episode longer than the actual episode is, but I'm just going to stick to the main points because then that leaves something to discuss for later. So, I'm going to start with the story that is going to probably least interest me with the character, and then move on to what's probably going to be the most interesting. So, let's start with Julia. It's been 1 month since Quentin's died, according to Julia. Julia and Penny are in a relationship. Ew, I know. I don't like it. Nobody should like it because they do not belong together. And luckily, I got some comfort with the making the magic after the episode, where Arjun is like, yeah, Penny and Julia are together, but this is magicians, so that's not going to last. Something like that. And that gave me hope that this is not going to last. Because it shows Julia's wanting to do something with magic. She keeps saying she got the magic because of losing Quentin. And I guess that's true. Maybe she never really lost magic to begin with and she's just a bitch. I mean, she was without magic for what, a day or two? Who knows? There's nothing to say if she even actually completely lost magic. She may have just temporarily been put on hold, but she was a bitch about it anyways. The first thing I wanted to see from Julia was her telling Penny sorry for being a bitch to him. And I never got that. Instead, what you see is Penny coming, trying to take Julia on a date, and they go see these meteors because he has an artist friend, and she's showing this, and he's like, yeah, I just want to help you try to figure out. And then she's a bitch to him again. Bitch, Penny was trying to be helpful for you, just to be nice, and I really hate Julia. But moving on from that nonsense that she is, you see sexist Benjamin Franklin. That's what I call him, or just pig, because that's what it is anyways, right? In two meanings of the sense. But he's there to deliver a quest to Quentin. He's dead. He didn't know that somehow. Don't know how, but whatever. She's like, I'll take it. He's like, no, because you're a bitch. And I get that, but he didn't actually say that. That's just why I think she shouldn't get the quest. Not because she's a woman, because she's just a bitch. Alice could use a quest, but I'll get to that later. So that whole drama goes on, and her wanting to take a quest is making me think she's going to be more important, but somehow the least interesting to me for the show. And that's why she's at the bottom of my list for this episode. But then Julia goes to Alice. She's wanting to kind of have a seance, talk to Quentin somehow, so I guess she can know what he's doing, what she should do, because he's like, Quentin would have all the answers, even though, I like Quentin, but he didn't really seem to know what he was doing either. He was kind of just going with whatever. But that brings us to Alice. Alice tells her no, and Alice this whole time has been a mess. Her mom is back in her life now, living with her, and her mom's trying, but Alice is just tore up over Quentin. And rightly so. She finally makes up with him and then loses him right away. But after Julia comes, she rejects her. Alice goes to the library to help with a problem they have because the library's been bugging her. She uses her phosphoromancy to unlock this book and I guess steals a certain spell that she was looking for, or looking for a book that could tell her. Anyways, it leads her to, at the end of the episode, contradicting what she was saying to Julia. So yeah, kind of hypocritical. But she's apparently going to try to create a Q golem with a bunch of living clay that's already laid out. So she may have already been planning this to begin with, because it says near the beginning of the episode, Theme Fog is talking about someone stealing all the living clay. So yeah, she may have been planning this already. And going to the library just gave her that chance. And then Julia coming kind of just, confirmed how she felt. But let's move on to Katie. Now, they didn't really show too much of Katie. She fixes a Hedge's arm that got blown off. But I'm really interested to see what she's going to do with the Hedges, because she's the leader now. And she's wanting to figure out how to get the mark off and let Hedges do spells again. But she doesn't know how to do that yet. I think that's where her storyline's going to be. I haven't always been crazy about Katie. I have nothing against her, besides I don't like her singing. I don't know why. She's not a bad singer, I just don't like it. But that's a whole different thing. But, yeah, Hedges' story might be even more interesting. It's been slowly getting there. I haven't been crazy about it. But, compared to Julia, a lot more looking forward to it. And then, next is Penny. So I already talked about him being with Julia. Still don't like it. But another interesting thing is Dean Fogg comes and wants Penny to be a professor at Breakbills. He says Penny is the only Breakbills educated traveler that is alive on Earth. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's set to be a teacher. If you think about it, I don't know about Penny 23, but they never really finished Breakbills anyways. They had the whole fillery stuff going on, and then in 23 they never even got to kill the beast, so that whole school just got wiped out. So Penny being a teacher is weird, but he also has experience just being a traveler to begin with, which is what these students need. So they had a handful of students, and his advice pretty much right away is the same advice he got, which is to get the tattoo and not travel. And then he realizes that might be wrong. Takes him on a trip, and there's a student who's having kind of a similar experience to Penny. None of them have traveled before, but she's hearing this kind of signal in his head. He goes in her head, tries to find out what the signal is, and he's unable to block it once he starts hearing it. Apparently he loses control of his traveling ability a little bit and just spazzes out. And that's a whole nother mystery I just never saw coming and thought about happening. So that's going to be cool to see. And we see all this is just setting up a bunch of stuff. Maybe it's going all tie into one quest. Maybe it doesn't. We'll have to see. Another fun thing going with the whole Breakbills is Dean Fogg stopped drinking. There's a lot more students because there's more magic. And I'm starting to get a little more season 1 vibe. If they're going to do more stuff at the school with more teaching, and also if you look at Elliot and Margot, they're more dressed how they were when they were on Earth. I mean, yeah, they've been around Philly for another week or around that, from what they say in the episode. But there's a different tone overall in this episode, and I can't quite pick what it is. I feel a little bit of season 1 vibe coming from it. Maybe it's just the clothes, maybe it's seeing more of a full and a lot more students at Breakbills, but who knows. But by far, Elliot and Margot being in Philly and just the characters themselves is going to be the most interesting part of this season for me, probably. There is this event that happened 300 years ago called the Great Unshackling, and lucky for Elliot and Margot, after a week of trying to figure out how to get in Castle Watchspire, a drunken group brings them along, and they get in, and they're presented a skit. And so for this skit, kind of reminds me of the same skit from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you've seen that and are still as big a nerd as I am, And it's, just propaganda, making fun of all the past High Kings, talking about Elliot the drunk, Margot being angry all the time, Q just being depressed, and you get to see Elliot be sad about Q being brought up, and then they're talking about Alice being dead or not, and you're still tore up about that. Then they get to Finn the Toeless, which I don't feel is a completely accurate name. It should be something like Finn Wooded Toes or something. I don't know. She still has toes. And then Josh the Fresh Prince and how they're getting dethroned and killed. And then they toss a decapitated fake Josh head around that lands, of course, with Margot, because I guess they're trying to upset him. They obviously don't like this skit, so Margot has an idea. She thinks she knows how to go back in time. Apparently, when she was High King and in charge, she started an excavation to go to the center of Fillory to find the clock doors, and apparently it finished at some point. So she goes back there. They go down this giant ass slide. Don't know how big it is exactly because you only see the beginning and the end. But they meet a clock dwarf who is underwhelming, I guess. He's just saying, he kind of just looks like any other person. And, there's some fun being made between what people think doors are on Earth and whatever. This is the first time we saw a dwarf, and yeah, it was a little underwhelming, but I guess it's also kind of humorous to think they're not really different anyways. But, cutting to the chase, pretty much he can't turn back time for him because it's a mess everything in apocalyptic style, which, is kind of what is going to happen if you've seen trailers for the season anyways. But yeah, that's another joke with him wanting a sandwich. Then you find out he's just eating hallucinogenic mushrooms the whole time. But yeah, realize Dwarf's a dud. No plan there. But somehow slide back up the slide. And then Elliot and Margaret have a little spat. You can tell at this point, Elliot is trying his best to hold it in. They talk more about losing Quentin. Elliot's trying just to act like he's fine, but you can see him start drinking from a flask again. You get to see what it was like him again in the first season again, and it's heartbreaking, really. And now I'm just waiting for Elliot's emotional breakdown, because you never really got to see it that much in the first season, but Quentin was an even bigger deal to him. So it's just something that I'm waiting for, and I know it's going to hit me hard, just because the whole Elliot and Quentin relationship was just so great. But it looks like he goes back down the side, probably for those mushrooms, just like when he had the carrots. And then Margot gets locked up, sees a ghost of Josh, I guess because they're a fairy hour, but it's going to be interesting to see what Margot does with that. You see her interacting with Finn and Josh in the trailers, so I'm looking forward to getting to how that happens. A lot of this is just, this episode in general is just showing a start of what could be and where they're at, and man, I'm excited to see where it goes. So excited. But, yeah, like I said, I'm getting some season 1 vibes. Don't really know what's going to happen. We know there's too much magic. They keep saying that. And there's this apocalyptic, the world's ending, they gotta save the world. And this seems like a lot of it's going to get drawn from the third book. And maybe not in an entirely accurate way. Some stuff is definitely going to be different. But if we're going to make any predictions, maybe Julia's going to be working back, getting her goddess powers again. I don't know. She'll be the one to save it. Fillory because of that. And then there's another character that could be added, especially if all these new students have come to Brickbills, that could make room for Plum. And if Penny is there, he could meet Plum. No, we'll see. And then one other thing is the moral in the show opening has blue whales. Now, I've been reading a lot of blue whales. They make no sense, but that's also a reference to the book, obviously. But that's pretty much the main points. I try to stick to making sense as much as I could. But what do you think? Did you watch this first episode too? Was you excited about it? Did you like it? Was you maybe not as crazy about it? I don't see why you would be, but I don't know. Everyone has different tastes. I love it. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this season goes. But what did you think? Let me know. Be as big of a Magicians fan, nerd as I am, and just say whatever your thoughts were with the show, either in the comments. But if you liked what I said, like the video. If you want to see more, because I'll do one of these for each episode, subscribe to my channel. But thanks again for watching. I'm the AC. Bye.